Let's be honest. You've worked your whole life, paid off your mortgage, and thought you could finally rest. But then, every year, that tax letter comes. $4,000, $6,000, even $10,000, just to stay in your own home. If you think that's unfair, you're not alone. Over 27 million Americans over 50 are living with the fear that property taxes are catching up to their retirement income. But in 2026, something unprecedented is happening. 5 U.S. states are cutting property taxes all the way down to zero. No more delays, no more temporary reductions, but complete elimination. If you're planning to retire, or you're feeling suffocated by property taxes rising every year, this video will show you exactly which 5 states are giving freedom back to their people. And one of them just quietly passed a full tax exemption law that almost no one knows about. Stay until the end, because that state might just be the one you should move to before 2026. 5. Texas, the Lone Star State and the property tax revolution shaking America. In August 2025, hundreds of Texans gathered in front of the Capitol in Austin. When Governor Greg Abbott signed the new tax reform package, the crowd erupted in applause. A slogan was displayed on a red banner: "My home, my freedom, no more property tax." For many middle-aged and retired people, it was not just a political slogan, but a lifelong dream. Living in a home that truly belongs to them, with no bills, no annual tax obligations. Texas, the Lone Star State, has always prided itself on its independent spirit. And now, the state is leading the revolution to abolish property taxes. As home prices, healthcare costs, and insurance rise like never before, Texas is choosing the opposite path, returning true ownership to its citizens. Governor Abbott declared, "We will not stop at reducing taxes. The ultimate goal is to eliminate property taxes entirely." The story of Mr. David and Mrs. Mary Johnson in San Antonio is a typical example. After 30 years working in the energy sector, they have paid off their mortgage. Yet every year, they still have to send nearly $6,000 in property taxes, enough to cover an extended vacation with their grandchildren. "We don't owe anyone, but we still pay as if we are renting our own home," said Mrs. Mary. "We just hope that one day, this house will truly be ours." And this year, that hope is no longer far away. Texas just rolled out an $18 billion tax cut package, the largest in state history, and is preparing to expand it to $51 billion over the next 2 years. The homestead exemption, the portion of home value exempt from taxes, is expected to double, reaching $200,000 for seniors. According to analysis by the Texas Tribune, retired homeowners can save an average of $400 to $900 per year, while some disabled or fully retired individuals save nearly $1,000. What sets Texas apart, and also helps videos about the state go viral with millions of views, lies in its budget philosophy. Instead of taxing residents' property, Texas is moving toward a freedom funding model, based on consumption taxes, energy, and economic growth. The state already has a $33 billion budget surplus, mostly from oil and gas production, technology, and rapid population growth. While California struggles with debt, Texas has extra money to cut taxes. If this program is fully implemented, a homeowner in Dallas with a $400,000 condo, currently paying about $7,000 per year, could save $60,000 over 10 years. That is a huge sum for retirees. In Illinois, the comparable figure is over $9,000 per year, more than double. This disparity is fueling the retire to Texas migration wave. Austin, San Antonio, and Houston all recorded a 14% increase in new home purchases by people aged 55 plus in 2025. But no story of freedom comes without risk. Many budget experts warn, if property taxes are completely abolished, counties and cities could lose a stable revenue source for schools, police, and local infrastructure. Some local leaders worry that when revenue flows to the state, rural areas may suffer. An economist at the University of Houston warned, tax exemption today is good news, but if oil and gas revenues decline, Texas will have to raise consumption taxes. Low-income people will be the first to be affected. Yet, Texans seem willing to take the gamble. For them, this is not just an economic issue, but a principle of life. You work hard all your life. You deserve to keep your home. Small communities like Abilene, Lubbock, and Temple are experiencing a revival. Retired couples open bakeries, small gardens, or coffee shops in their own homes, no longer worrying about tax bills arriving each fall. Here, you can live decently without fearing the payment day, Mr. Johnson said, smiling as he sipped coffee on his porch. And what about you? If Texas can achieve what many think is impossible, abolishing property taxes while still thriving, could your state keep up? If you are living on retirement income, what would you choose? A sunny state with high taxes, or a place where the final bill of your life could disappear? Leave a comment below. Do you believe Texas will be the first state to let Americans reach the dream of zero property tax? And remember to like and subscribe, so when Florida, Wyoming, or Tennessee join this race, you will be the first to know which places will truly turn financial freedom into reality. 4. Florida, the Sunshine State and the promise of property tax exemption for the golden generation. If Texas is called the land of freedom, then Florida is truly the paradise of retirement, a place where every morning sunlight streams through the curtains and you feel that life really begins after 60. But recently, there is something that makes people talk about Florida not just for the warm sun or blue ocean, but because of plans to cut or even abolish property taxes for seniors. In May 2025, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill expanding the Save Our Homes program, capping annual property value increases at 3% or below the CPI, and proposed a lifetime property tax freeze for residents 65 and older who have lived in their primary home for at least 10 years. Simply put, if you are a qualified Florida resident, the property taxes you are paying today could be the last amount you ever pay in your life. Mrs. Linda Peterson, 68, living in Sarasota, recounted her feelings upon receiving the new county notice. I opened the letter, saw the small line, tax frozen at 2025 level. I cried. After decades of paying consistently, I can finally call this place home, truly. Her story quickly spread across retirement forums. Thousands of comments poured in, mostly from people who had feared selling their homes due to ever-increasing taxes. Florida is currently one of 9 states that do not levy personal income tax and also does not tax pensions or Social Security. But property taxes have long been a major concern, especially in densely populated counties like Palm Beach, Broward, or Hillsborough, where the average rate is about 0.83% of home value. For a $350,000 home, residents still pay around $2,900 per year. Now, if the tax freeze policy is expanded, that amount will be fixed forever, no matter how much the market value rises. What truly sets Florida apart from other states is a sustainable alternative revenue source. In 2024, the state welcomed over 140 million tourists, generating more than $35 billion in taxes and tourism fees, a record in its history. Thanks to this cash flow, the state can reduce the burden on residents while maintaining a strong budget. In other words, Tourists are covering a large portion of public costs for local residents, from roads and schools to welfare programs. Additionally, the state government has expanded the additional homestead exemption, allowing residents 65 plus with incomes below $36,614 per year to reduce $50,000 to $75,000 from their taxable home value. This is especially meaningful for those living on fixed retirement income, where every saved dollar counts. Compared to states like New York or New Jersey, where the average property tax exceeds 2% of home value, Florida remains an affordable destination. A retiree selling a $700,000 home on Long Island and buying a $350,000 home in Ocala not only has extra money to invest, but also reduces annual property taxes from $14,000 to under $3,000. This story is not rare. In 2025, the number of people aged 55 plus moving to Florida increased by 18%, the highest in the country. However, every dream has two sides. Experts warn that as home prices continue to rise, some renters or new homeowners may face higher taxes to offset the reductions for the exempt group. In addition, homeowners insurance in Florida, which already increased nearly 40% after the 2024 series of storms, remains a headache. Some counties, like Lee and Collier, have recorded average premiums exceeding $6,000 per year, partially offsetting the benefits of tax reduction. For older residents, the question is not only, is the tax exemption real, but also, am I eligible and will I live long enough to fully enjoy this policy? Local tax attorneys advise registering for the homestead exemption early and maintaining residency certification for at least 10 consecutive years to ensure a permanent tax freeze. Despite many factors to consider, Florida is proving that a state can operate stably without heavily taxing residents. As tourism revenue continues to grow and retirees keep moving in, the state is moving closer to the goal of zero property tax for seniors, a lifetime exemption for those who have contributed to building the community. And that is also what makes Florida different. This is not just a place to retire, but a place where seniors are respected. Here, the sun is not only warm, it is also a symbol of financial security, of the feeling this home is mine forever. So, if you are looking for a place that is warm, light on taxes, and comfortable enough to live well after 60, Florida may be the answer. But like any major choice, ask yourself, do you want to live somewhere with just sunshine, or somewhere where sunshine comes with true freedom? If you find this information useful, please like and subscribe, because in the next part, we will explore Wyoming, a place with taxes so low that residents say, "Here, the government doesn't take your money. They just wish you a long life." 3. Wyoming. The equality state, where home ownership truly means no one touches your wallet. Wyoming, the state of wind, mountains, and endless space, affectionately called the equality state by Americans, where everyone is treated fairly. And perhaps nowhere else is fairness as real as here, with the government moving toward the goal of zero property tax for its residents. While much of the U.S. struggles with rising property tax bills every year, Wyoming chooses a different path. Here, residents pay almost no income tax, no tax on pensions, no inheritance tax, and the average property tax is only 0.57%, 3 times lower than New Jersey. But what puts Wyoming on today's list is not just the low numbers, but the plan to expand rebate and exemption programs for seniors, a major step toward true zero property tax. Look at the story of Mr. William Harris, 72, living in Cheyenne. He used to pay over $2,000 per year for a $350,000 home. But since the 2024-2026 property tax refund program was implemented, he now pays less than half. "I never expected a small state like Wyoming to lead the nation in protecting seniors," he said. "Every dollar I keep helps me buy medicine, tend my garden, and still have enough to take my grandkids fishing in the summer." According to the state government, the 2025 tax refund program doubles its scope. All residents with income below 145% of the state average are eligible to claim up to 50% of property taxes paid. For those over 65 who have paid property taxes for at least 25 years, the exemption can reach 100% of the taxable value on their primary home. In addition, the Wyoming Property Tax Deferral Act allows seniors to defer paying taxes until they sell or inherit the home, meaning no one can take their home just because they do not have enough money to pay taxes on time. So what allows Wyoming to do what many other states do not dare to try? The answer lies in energy revenue. The state collects billions of dollars each year from oil, natural gas, coal, and minerals. Royalties and severance taxes from extraction companies have made the state budget so robust that the government can offset property tax reductions without worrying about deficits. In 2024, Wyoming achieved a surplus of over $1.2 billion, while the population is under $600,000, equivalent to a small city in California. But Wyoming is not just a story about money, it is a story about lifestyle. Here, you can step outside without hearing car horns, breathe the fresh air of the Rockies, and feel time seems to slow down. Cities like Cheyenne, Casper, or Cody have living costs 15 to 20% lower than the U.S. average. A 3-bedroom home in the suburbs costs only about $330,000, and many retirees from Colorado or California are moving here to truly relax. Of course, Wyoming is not perfect. Winters are long and cold, and healthcare infrastructure is limited in remote areas. But for retirees seeking peace and financial autonomy, that is a price worth paying for the sense of security. "I don't want to live where the government charges me every time I open a letter," Mr. Harris said. "Here, they let me live the way I want." And that is the essence of Wyoming: freedom, practicality, and fairness. A place where you don't need to be a millionaire to keep your home. A place where the government talks little but does a lot. A place where zero property tax is not just a slogan, but a promise gradually coming true. So how about you? If there is a state ready to let you live your entire retirement without fear of tax bills, would you dare to pack up and leave the expensive city to set foot in Wyoming, where you are truly free on your own land? If you find this video useful, hit like to let me know that you want to see more content like this. 2. North Dakota. The Peace Garden. State, where zero property tax is no longer just a promise. In most of the U.S., property tax exemption is just a slogan, but in North Dakota, it is actually happening. Amid the windy plains and oil rigs, this small state is doing what no other place dares to try: putting complete elimination of property taxes to a public vote. In June 2025, more than 40,000 residents signed in support of Initiated Measure 4, proposing to permanently end property taxation. If passed in the 2026 election, North Dakota would become the first state in U.S. history to collect no property taxes at all, a bold move drawing national attention. What makes them dare is not recklessness, but true financial strength. Thanks to the vast oil reserves in the Bakken region, North Dakota created the Legacy Fund, a sovereign wealth fund worth over $9 billion, generating hundreds of millions in annual revenue. The plan is to use profits from the fund and oil taxes to fully replace property tax revenue. In other words, the land beneath the ground will pay for the land above it. Sharon Miller, 66, from Bismarck, said she used to worry about having to sell her home because of rising taxes. I've paid off all my debts, yet I still have to pay an extra $2,500 a year just to stay in my own home. It's absurd, she said. If the new measure passes, she will be among the first in the U.S. to own a home without paying property taxes for life. Currently, North Dakota residents pay an average of $2,700 per year, equivalent to 1.1% of a home's value. For those living on pensions or Social Security, eliminating this payment means an extra $225 per month in income. No Congress, no aid required. What is remarkable is that this movement did not come from politicians, but from ordinary citizens. They believe, if you can lose your home because you didn't pay taxes, then you never truly owned it. This philosophy is spreading across the Midwest, where other states like Wyoming and Alaska are beginning to study similar models. Of course, there are concerns. Counties warn that over $1.4 billion per year could be lacking for schools and infrastructure if property taxes are eliminated without sufficient replacement revenue. But with a surplus budget and a strong oil fund, North Dakota believes it can do what no other state has done: let people truly own their homes. Perhaps, while the rest of the country debates, North Dakota has taken one step further. Here, zero property tax is no longer a dream. It is a real ballot, waiting for citizens to decide the future of their own homes. 1. Tennessee, the volunteer state. Freedom in silence, sustainable in every tax dollar. If Texas is famous for bold declarations, and North Dakota is making waves with the property tax elimination ballot, Tennessee chooses a very different path. Quietly, effectively, and letting the results speak for themselves. Amid the Green Mountains and the guitar sounds of Nashville, Tennesseans are enjoying what many other states have only dared to promise: some of the lowest property taxes in the U.S., no personal income tax, and a long-term sustainable tax reduction program. People call Tennessee the volunteer state. But if it had another nickname, perhaps it should be the sensible state, the state of prudence. Here, the average property tax is only about 0.49%, the fourth lowest in the nation. A $300,000 home pays less than $1,500 per year, while in Illinois, that figure can be 6 times higher. And notably, Tennessee fully eliminated personal income tax in 2021, after officially repealing the Hall tax, the tax on dividends and investment income. This means that whether you are working or retired, no one touches your pension or savings. For seniors, the state also offers the Property Tax Relief Program, a policy praised by organizations such as AARP as a model of tax benefits for retirees. If you are over 65 or a veteran or disabled, the government will refund up to 50% of your primary home property tax each year. Mark and Linda Brown, a couple living in Knoxville, shared, "We save over $1,800 a year. For retirees, that is enough for medicine or a beach trip. The best part is the feeling, being respected, not crushed by taxes." What makes Tennessee special is smart balance. The state does not have oil like Texas or North Dakota, but it has a diversified economy, from healthcare, technology, to manufacturing and tourism. Nashville alone brings in over $30 billion annually from tourism, allowing the state to maintain its budget without high taxation on residents. Additionally, the cost of living in Tennessee is 12% lower than the national average, and the median home price is about $320,000, making it a hidden gem for retirees seeking comfort without worrying about tax bills. Of course, Tennessee is not perfect. The sales tax is high, nearly 9.75%. helping make up the budget that the state does not collect from property. But for many, that is a reasonable price to pay for full home ownership and a leisurely life. After years of working, paying off debts, and paying taxes, you deserve to keep everything you have built. From Texas to Tennessee, the wave of property tax reductions to zero is opening a new door to freedom, where retirement no longer carries burdens, only peace and the right to remain in your own home. If you are planning for retirement, now is the time to act. Learn, compare, and choose a place that truly protects your hard work. Because real freedom starts right at your doorstep. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Who knows? The next state to eliminate property taxes may be the one where you live.